Ohayou gozaimasu! Konnichiwa, everyone. This is Sephiroth Sword 57, content creator and live-action Vtuber of Fighting Streamers 2 single player on the Sephiroth Sword 57 channel. Welcome to today's stream. How are you swordlings doing? Now, for today's stream, I decided that we're just gonna do a little bit of a hangout between me and you swordlings. And if you have any questions towards me, you can ask them during this stream. Now, yesterday's stream, that was quite great, wasn't it? I really enjoyed yesterday's stream. Konnichiwa, Neto-san. Vomi-san is back as well. Konnichiwa. Wish I could have watched it all. Well, that's fine. The stream is up on the channel, on YouTube. Goku-san, yokoso. Thank you for the Daimu Ato. That's, well, arigato for the request. It was a very fun drawing. Kante-san, do you think trans girls are Sugoi? I think all swordlings are Sugoi, and anyone who shows respect to me and are a swordling are great people in general. As long as you don't make fun of Japanese culture or are racists and such. Min-san, konnichiwa. The very wise wizard was hontoni sugoi. Oh, that's great to know, Omi-san. I had a lot of fun with that one. Now, while we're talking about art, check this out. Here are all the different requests I got yesterday. I didn't even get to go to my, well, I had an idea for art I wanted to do during the stream if there were no requests, but I didn't have time to do that one. In fact, there were 3 pieces right here that I didn't have time on stream to do, which is why I decided if I'm going to do art streams, I'm going to start them earlier so that I can keep streaming for a while. So weekends would be the best days for art streams. I would like to do one this Sunday. I was thinking of doing it the next week, but I think Sunday would be a good day for another art stream. Then more swordlings can watch the stream. But yes, I was very, very happy with how this turned out. Seth-sama, in our video where you killed Super Mario, you looked very tall. I've never fought Super Mario. He's never been a character in the Sephiroth Sword 57 show. You might be confusing him with Nintendo, the entity known as Nintendo in the Sephiroth Sword 57 show. You looked very tall. Me and my friends wanted to know how tall you were. I am, like I said in my Vtuber debut, I am 180 centimeters. Arigato, Kante-san. Yes, that is from the Bloodborne review. Now, let's see here. Hold on just a second. Now, as you can tell, I am taking it very easy today. Which is why I thought that a hangout stream like this was perfect. Here we go. So here is the thread from last night, but from my Twitter of all the art that I'm going to post right now in chat, and you can check them out. All the individual drawings are also found on there, and of course on Twitch as well. There we go. All right. There we go. So, yes, like I said, art streams would be on the weekends. So that would be, I think that's a good decision, personally. Sef-sama, I just wanted to pop in and see the stream, but I gotta go to bed. Love your content, man. Keep up the good work. Arigato, Vin-san. And have a good night. Oyasumi. Oh. Let's see. Now, my swordlings. I've actually been, as most of you have noticed, I've been streaming every day now. Since Sunday. This is my 5th stream so far. And it's been going really well. Some streams were doing better than others. Like yesterday's stream. There was a lot of swordlings in there, a lot of activity. And some of them were not doing as great, which surprised me. One of them I had a guest on, Chrono, and a lot of you swordlings didn't show up for that one. Is this an act? Do you mean this stream? No, I am streaming. Someone also asked, was it a few days ago on stream, if this stream, or if the stream was a video, but it's not. All right. I've also seen that now most of you noticed that I've been streaming on both Twitch and YouTube, and I see there are a significant amount of viewers on Twitch and on YouTube, so I'm going to keep doing these streams like this, where I stream to both platforms, because it seems to be doing quite well. Do you think Sega made a dumb decision for making games for the Finnish phone console, the Nokia N-Gage. Oh, I remember that thing. Back in the day. Just got my hands on one because I've been curious regarding it for ages. Well, I think at the time they didn't have much choice what they could do. Nintendo had forced them out of business. Or the console business rather. So all the opportunities they signed. And well, I don't think they had much of a decision there. Now Sega is right now doing great by releasing games for the PlayStation. Which was the best decision they could have done. Will Sega ever get back into the home console game? Well, they're doing pretty well right now. With the Yakuza games that are coming out. And I bet they're working on a new Virtua Fighter that's gonna do really well as well. So I'm looking forward to that. How's the job hunt going, Sefsama? Same as always. There's no difference. I haven't been on any interview since I last streamed. Today were no jobs that I could apply for. Sefsama, do you dislike Microsoft? Not necessarily dislike like I do with Nintendo, but I mean they don't provide anything good either. Well, they're nothing pretty much. It's I just look at them and see the games that they have, and I think, wow, okay, nobody cares about this company. So they're not doing anything harm necessarily. I missed yesterday's stream. Who was the guest? Oh, there was no guest on yesterday's stream. I had an art stream yesterday. My guest stream was a few days ago. And Chrono took over as host while I was away. Now that was an interesting stream. You shortlings had some questions for Chrono. Now, speaking of the streams, I know a lot of people really like highlights from streams. I've been talking to my brother Dave, and he's going to make some highlights that will be for the Sephiroth Sword 57 Plus channel. Which is my extra channel where pretty much anything goes. And since I'm currently, well, this is the content that I'm doing, we will be getting some extra videos, especially for moments that you might have missed. But I need really good advice from the senpai master. You're talking to me, Sef-sama? My boyfriend likes to play Nintendo games. Should I break up with them? Okay, you need to have a serious talk with them first and foremost. There must be something in their life that made them resort to something like that. It's dangerous. It is quite dangerous, and you need to get them to stop playing Nintendo games and supporting Nintendo. Most likely they are blinded by nostalgia and have been manipulated from a young age. That is how most Nintendo players seem to act. And worst case, you take away the Nintendo games and hide them so that they don't get to play them for a while, and they should go back to normal after that. If that doesn't work, I'm sorry, but you two were never meant to be. And you would have to do something about that. But make sure you talk to them first. Nintendo games are harmful to people, as it, well, I've said many times in the past, they manipulate people into liking bad games. And this new Zelda game that came out is exactly the same as the previous one, and the game are getting raving reviews for some reason. Nintendo fans are just well, they're being they're just manipulated. They don't know any better. They've never played any good games in their life. They've only played Nintendo games. Imagine if they played something like, well, let's say Grandia. They are Nintendo for sure created Western nerds. They did, yes. A lot of nerds play Nintendo games, as you might have noticed. And I've had my talk of nerds in a before, and yes, those are also people you need to be wary of. Speku-san, konbanwa to you as well, and welcome. Will you be doing more video game streams? That will depend. I don't know what to play, really, and I can't play games from my computer, and I can only play games through my PS4 or PS3 right now, because that's the only way for me to capture. It only uses HDMI output. So, oh, actually no. The PS3 you can't use the HDMI output for recording footage on capture cards. So only the PS4. You could stream while remaking your Super Sugoi RPG in RPG Maker. Well, if that's something that I end up doing, I don't think I would be streaming that, because it would just spoil the game for most people. That wouldn't really work for a stream, I think. Kira-san, welcome. Now, I did play Dragon Ball for a bit, but my issue with playing games is that I want to focus on chat and talk to you swordlings, and playing games, well, I have to pay attention to the game. And then I have to pause the game and make the just let the gameplay stand still while I'm talking to chat once in a while. I need to find a good balance, or find a game that's good to play on stream. Could you play games from your childhood? It would be nice to go with Seth-sama through some good old JRPGs. Yes, I could play some games. Now, I'm actually going to make a poll right now. I know you can do this on both YouTube and Twitch, but I'm doing it right now. Now be sure to vote on that. Because I have been looking up current streaming, and the majority of people that do streams say that playing games is just not the way to go for streaming now. So I need to know what you Swordlings think. I don't want to stream games and then Swordlings leave the stream while I'm playing. The kinds of games I play are JRPGs and some fighting games, maybe. Now, it would be fun to play fighting games. I do play on PlayStation 4, and I do play Virtua Fighter and King of Fighters 15. Those are the games I play. Have you thought about playing JRPG horror games on stream? Horror games. I did play that one RPG Maker game that's really popular. It's a horror game, Corpse Party. It's a classic. And that was a long time ago. That was on stream. You did challenge Swordlings in fighting game once before, yes. But here's the thing, we need to have a few Swordlings that also have a PS4 and can, so that they can join in playing. Now, from what I've heard, King of Fighters 15 is getting cross-platform gameplay. So for those of you who are unfortunate enough to not own a video game console to play video games properly and only have to resort to using a PC, you can join in. And for those of you who have PlayStation 5s, you can also start playing. Now, I don't know when that game will have when the cross-platform update is it called crossplay, I believe? Kenny-kun, Yokoso, do you prefer Capcom or SNK's character designs? I feel SNK's characters are more timeless, while Capcom's are more iconic. Well, I do think they both have their strength. And I think King of Fighters characters all feel like fighting game characters. And Capcom characters are just well-designed characters in general, and you can put them in any game you want, really. I would rather see video game news or hear about new games coming out. That sounds better than gameplay, although horror games would be fun. A quick trailer/reaction of a horror game would be adequate. That's what I'm thinking too. I do think it works better for streams that way. Now, speaking of trailers, have you, Swordlings, kept up with all the Tekken 8 trailers? I've been watching those. They look really kakoi. All those characters look great. Is that your living room in the background, Sef-sama? Yes, it is. This is where I live. Tiniste-san, konnichiwa. By the way, greetings to all the swordlings, and sorry I am late, just got home from work. Oh, don't worry, Wimbisi-san. Tekken looks super sugoi, it really does. Have you played Okage on PS2? The art style is so unique. I had that game, but I have not played it, and I remember seeing it its coverage in magazines back in the day. I never got around to playing it because I had so many JRPGs to play, but it looked very cool. I agree, horror games would be fun. Would Joachim join in on a horror game session? Not on stream. Joachim does not said that he wasn't. Well, after fighting streamers, he said it the original. He said that he wasn't really comfortable doing live streams, which is why fighting streamers was on hold for so long. What do you look for in a fighting game character? I prefer grapplers and boss characters. Boss characters are really cool. There's some really iconic fighting game boss characters out there. And there are also a lot of there's a lot of really cool iconic characters. The characters that I look up to the most to are characters that are respectful and to show that they are willing to get stronger. Those are my favorite types of characters in fighting games. I'd very much like to see your live reaction to new trailers, and eagerly await your hottest takes. Yes, reactions is something that people have said I should do, like on stream and stuff. I could do from now on, when there's new trailers, I could hold off on watching them so that you can get a live first reaction from me whenever there's a stream. And every time I do now, of course, when I do reactions to trailers, that's one thing. But if you want me to react to clips or stuff, they're gonna have to be curated by a third party. Most likely Joachim or maybe my brother Dave. Have to look through them. But I will let you know if I decide to do a reaction stream to something. I think somebody else already asked, but what do you think about Resident Evil games? Well, Resident Evil, the first one, I got in 1996 for my PlayStation, and I bought it. Now, I did finish it at one point, but I needed help because I was very scared of the game when playing it back then. And horror, I have a bit of a weak. I'm pretty weak to horror games in general. They're a bit scary to me. But Yes, that's one of I would say I played. Now this is interesting. I did play Resident Evil before I played Final Fantasy VII. I got a couple of games for the PlayStation 1. Jumping Flash 1 and 2 being some of them as well. Those are really fun platformers for the system. And Resident Evil 1 was a very interesting game, and it for its time, and it still is to this day a classic. Are there any arcade bosses you consider cheap? SNK had a bad reputation for making their final bosses very difficult. Is that a bad thing? Would people consider bosses that are supposed to be menacing and terrifying to be hard a bad thing? How is that a bad thing? Isn't that what if they're just pushovers? That would make them look weak and pathetic, and not menacing at all. Last bosses should always be hard. And SNK did a good job. Can we meet Dave sometime, by the way? Well, we don't really see each other that much, and streaming together probably won't be a thing. We don't really, well... I know if we start streaming together that we are gonna have some kind of argument. It always happens when we are when we are together for a long time. So it's just something that we have been dealing with for years. He has been playing Nintendo systems, even though I've been talking to him over and over and over again about how Nintendo is just a manipulative, awful company. And while he agrees with some points, he still plays Nintendo games. Very strange. Dead or Alive, now that is a classic that you certainly should play. It's too bad that they haven't announced a new one for a long time. They should get a new one out soon, since fighting games are very popular right now. I would love to see a new Virtua Fighter and Dead or Alive game. The first one had such great atmosphere. The voice acting and live action videos made it feel like a real horror film you would buy on VHS. It was revolutionary. It really was. I remember seeing the cutscene and I was like, wait, wow, are these the graphics? This looks amazing. It looks like real life. Of course, that was of course the videos, the FMVs, I believe they're called. But when I was amazed. I remember I was 10 years old when it came out. Now at the time they were very lenient when it came to games. I just went to the store and bought it, and then they didn't seem to care at all that I bought a game that was for adults essentially. And for those of you who wonder, I got a PlayStation and how I could afford a PlayStation and all those games at a young age. I got my PlayStation in 1996, and the reason why I had so much money is because I had been saving up for a Sega Saturn. I wanted to get a Sega Saturn, but unfortunately, they were so expensive. A Sega Saturn was $600, and I believe it was even more. I think it was $650 at the time. And that in that time's money, imagine. And the PlayStation 1 was only $299. It was it was more than half the price. So at the time, I saw the cool games that were on it, and while I was very disappointed that I didn't get to get a Sega Saturn, I was very happy that I got a PlayStation. I'm glad I made that decision because I saw how many cool games were coming out for it, and I decided, well, I want a new system, and this PlayStation 1 seems to be good, and it doesn't seem to be Nintendo at all, which is great. Nothing like Nintendo. Resident Evil 4 Remake is Sugoi. I've heard it's really great. I have not played it yet myself, but I have heard it's really good. Strong-willed people always get into arguments. Well, it is true, he is very stubborn, and he doesn't want to listen to reason. Can Dave-san really be trusted with making highlight clips? I know he's done well with the shorts on your YouTube channel, though. He knows where the line is drawn. It's not like that old editor that I had, Ken Bento, who I had. Kenshiro Bento, remember that guy? He was very pathetic. He made videos making fun of me and thought he could get away with posting it on my official channels. Well, he's gone, and he also left. He left the internet, it seems like, and I blocked him everywhere. He also hacked my account. Remember that? But Dave, he knows what I want out of clips. He knows what not to do, at least. Who's your all-time favorite fighting game character? Now, I was a big fan of Oro from Street Fighter 3 Third Strike when I was younger, and I still like him. He's very strong and a very cool, and it's a very cool idea for a character, where you have this old master who just keeps getting stronger, and he also, what I found really cool in Third Strike is that he refused to use both his hands because he felt it would be unfair for his opponents if he could use his full power. So he limited himself on purpose to get a challenge, but also for it to be fair. A very cool character. What's up with brothers and arguing and yet loving each other? Well, I wouldn't go that far. Me and they grew up in different households and didn't see each other a lot when we were kids. We're twins, by the way. So if you ever seen Dave, you can see the similarities between us a little bit. But we moved together in with our parents. When our parents decided to get back together, we moved in together. Now he left. He would live together for a few years, and then he left to go study. So he moved out of the house. But we do agree on some things. We like JRPGs, and we have shared JRPGs together as well. So it's not all bad. I wish he didn't grow up with Nintendo systems though. If I was present at the times I went over to my dad's place, I should have told them that you shouldn't get Nintendo systems. But back then I didn't know that Nintendo was that bad. I just thought the games were awful, and they were not a manipulative company. When you move to Japan, Sef-sama, where do you want to live there? Oh, there are... Of course, Tokyo would be the first choice, right? And if I move in there on my own, then yes, that's where I would be staying first. Either Tokyo or Osaka. Now, when I want to settle down properly with my family there, I would be... I would definitely want to live on the countryside, or at least outside of any of the major cities. That's my ideal way of living, in the Japanese countryside. That's also not too remote, I should add. Dino Crisis, I did play that for quite a bit. Joachim actually owned it, and we did play it together. Does Chef Daddy 57 work for Nintendo? No, he does not. He is his own. Now, he does play Nintendo games, but he doesn't work for Nintendo in the Sephiroth Sword 57 show. He is his own group, you could say. Seph would never work for Nintendo. No, I would not. Nor would Sephiroth Sword 57 in the Sephiroth Sword 57 show. I remember this one baka kid in my school who hyped up the Xbox. Wow, what a loser. Who would be hyping people up for a nothing box? They don't have any games for it, and nothing good at all. So why would people care about that? Very strange. Dave is like a Virgil to your Dante. Now that's a way of looking. That's definitely a way to look at it. At least when it comes to attitude, I would say. Dave fits in more there than I would. He's more of a Virgil than I am. I love Devil May Cry. Super Sugoi games. Yes, they are great. All the Devil May Cry games are great. And of course, I'm not counting that Western game that came out. That one does not exist. It should be removed from video game history. Dave-san unfortunately didn't inherit Sef-sama's sense of fashion. No, he doesn't really dress up in any way at all. He's just very plain and boring, I would say. I have been with him and try and pick out things for him when we were younger, but he was like, no, I want to get something like this, and he bought like a black hoodie or something like that, and I was like, okay, you could have gotten a shirt for a really cool fashionable shirt for half that price, but you went with that thing instead. Okay, well, it's a strange decision, I think. Oh, Robotech-san, arigato for the $25. Once again. And let's see. We're still good. Wow. Both Twitch and YouTube are doing... I see there's a lot of sword links on both platforms. That's great. What if Dave-san went on a quest? He was a student after all. He may have had some Sugoi adventures. Maybe. I don't know what he was up to. He studied because he had bad grades in school, which I did not, by the way. I had quite good grades when I left school. Solid and liquid Sefsama. Well, I wouldn't say we're that antagonistic towards each other, but we. I guess if we have to put it that way, then yes, I would be solid Sefsama in that way. He certainly did not, for my son, and I remember him playing Grand Theft Auto quite regularly. I do hope he is doing better these days. Wait, who are we talking about? Dave? Are we talking about Dave? I don't think he cares too much about the GTA games. Or are we talking about Chef Daddy 57? Because if that's the case, then yes, I'm not surprised. Has there ever been a Nintendo game that you liked? If not, which Nintendo game do you dislike the least? Well, here's the thing. There are games on Nintendo systems that are stuck there, that can't move to other systems because they're owned. The company that made them are owned by Nintendo, unfortunately. Now, I have not played those Xenoblade games, but they look okay, I think. I'm not gonna support them or play those games because it supports Nintendo directly. But you have to remember that the guy who owns that studio, who makes them, and also creates those games, also made Xenoblade, and he also worked on other Square Enix games back in the day, so he knows what's up. Unfortunately, he is stuck on Nintendo, like I said. Oh, that's a good point, for me, son. Yes, I would be solid Sefsama, and then it would be liquid Chef Daddy 57. That would make sense, actually. My favorite videos are the funny satire videos where you play a character or do/say random things in reviews. Oh, you're talking about the Chef Daddy 57 videos I did? I have done those videos where I just did that for fun once, and people thought it was really funny. Chef Daddy 57, I think, is it's a caricature of the typical Westerner, and I took inspiration from a lot of YouTube videos at the time, which is why he acts the way he does. And he also only likes Western games and hates all Japanese games and Japan in general. I thought it was a fun character to have because you could see how pathetic he is next to Sefsama, right? I hated the Xbox kids at school. PlayStation for the win. I agree, yes, PlayStation was the best back in the day. Now, some of you might not remember, since you mentioned Xbox, some of you might not have been there during the Sega and Nintendo and PlayStation era. This was before the Xbox. But, yes, it was Sega and PlayStation against Nintendo. And they were both really Sugoi. Now, unfortunately, Nintendo still, even though they hate their fans and such, they're still being, the fact that they're still here today is quite sad. Now it seems like everyone has voted on this poll, so, well, that's an overwhelmingly high yes on the gameplay. I guess I would look into what games to play on stream. That would be fun. Now it has to be fitting for streaming, I think, so that it's fun to watch, and I can also focus on chat while I play the game. So I am going to look through my library of games that I like. The Western video game is so foul that game shows exactly how awful Western society is. Yes, the Western Devil May Cry. Oh, okay, I see what you mean. Kamakura shirts are the best shirts to buy, made in Japan. I do want to start ordering clothing from Japan. Now, unfortunately, since I use Western sizes, and I do work out a lot. I have a pretty wide build, and it's hard to figure out what sizes I can order. I did order a shirt and it was too small, I remember, at one point. So I'm going to have to look into that. The stream is lagging. Nintendo's probably trying to hack you. Is it fine now? I saw all the drawings you posted on Twitter today. They were all subarashi. Well, that's great to hear. Arigato for that, Yekiterio-san. And arigato for the request as well. Dave has good taste. He likes the Way of the Dragon games. Well, yes, I have said that there are games that he does like PlayStation games and such. So it's not all bad. Everyone is Super Sugoi in this stream. I agree. I haven't seen a single troll today. Usually there's at least one. But everyone here is respectful and have great questions as well. Sef-sama, I have to confess, I started playing Skyrim today and I actually enjoyed it. Is there a cure for me? Stop playing it immediately. It means that you need to do more meditation to make sure that the games like that won't. It will change your mind. You will turn into a toxic Westerner if you keep playing games like that. Those games are meant to manipulate your mind. You shouldn't play that. So you need to stay away from it right now. Play any Final Fantasy game and you'll immediately see how much more subarashi they are. Yes, I'm sure you already knew that, Giri-san. And yes, move away from that game and play a JRPG or any other Japanese game, and your mind will start to make more sense. Sef-sama, could you recommend me some good JRPGs with cute succubus as your companion? I do believe that Disgaea has some kawaii, demon girls in it. You should look into Disgaea, which is a Nipponichi game. Chef Daddy is a favorite of mine. He's too funny. Well, that is the point. It's to show the point of a Westerner that is also real, but also in a funny way. So that's good. Would you play dating sim games? I want to see the master at work. Now, Masato-san, it's hard to play eroges on stream because they have a lot of sexual scenes in them. Now, that's the kind of thing that can't really work on something like YouTube and Twitch. And if I'm going to play an eroge like that, I don't want to play a version that has removed content. I want to have the full intended experience as it's supposed to be. So I can't play a version that has those scenes removed, or it will be, well, it's not what it was intended for. And also, those scenes add a lot to the tension of the story, a lot of the times, and they are important for the development that is going on in the games. I hear Noita has a streamer mode, but unfortunately it's only available on PC and worse, made in the West. Well, that goes off the list then. Stream is fine on Twitch. Okay, so I guess it's another YouTube thing. Final Fantasy XIV is a great cure for Skyrim. That's a good one. Are the Final Fantasy pixel remasters the best way to play? It is definitely one of the ways to play, and it's a good way to experience the games, especially now. Otherwise you have to look for the PlayStation or the PSP versions of the games, which were the best ones before this. But now you can get them for the PlayStation 4 along other, well, the PlayStation 4 is what you should be getting it for. Now, I think they're also available for the PlayStation 5, but since they are on the 4, you can get it on PlayStation 5 as well and play them. And it's all the old Final Fantasy games played in the intended way, the way they were supposed to be, compared to their old and, well, censored versions. That's right. When the old Final Fantasy games were released for the Nintendo systems, they were censored and they were badly localized as well, with bad translations. These versions are much better. Pixel remasters is definitely worth your time and yen, so make sure you go and check them out. And you don't need to buy all of them, you can only buy one of them if you want. There's 6 of them, and you can choose which one you find the most interesting. They're all great games, and I would say that you should play Final Fantasy VI, because that one is great. Chef, which is your favorite Japanese city? Whoa, there's many. I do like Kyoto, because it has a very traditional Japanese architecture among just the city in general is very Japanese. But of course, Osaka, I really want to go to northern Japan to check out Sapporo and the other cities in Hokkaido, for example. So I really want to explore more of Japan when I go there next time. Of course, I mentioned Osaka is also really great. It is a bit of a party city, you could say, and compared to Tokyo, it's a great time overall. Chef, which is your favorite Japanese city? Oh wait, I did already answer that. I'm still shocked Chef Daddy 57 can use the Kamehameha and Mafuba. Yes, that is something that I have not explained in the story yet. Thank you, Chef-sama and fellow swordlings for the Sugoi suggestions. I will stop playing Skyrim and burn it, then do a proper detoxing. Arigato. Well, good for you, Giddy-san. I'm glad you took our advice to heart. If you played more of it, you might have started to ignore us, or even start an argument against us. So it's good that we caught it early, so that you could get rid of that poison in your body that was starting to spread. Actually, Kante-san, I actually have made a video where I perform rituals to ward off yokai and spirits. There's one video I made with Joachim, and there's one where I demonstrated on stream a few years ago. And both of those are great if you want to learn. I think most of you should learn how to do to meditate and do exorcisms and such like that, things like that. When you start meditating, you start noticing presences around you, evil presences, and the spirits, and it gets it's gonna get worse, and that's some of the reason. Now, some of you might have. There we go, Honki-san. I cured my depression. That's right. A lot of depression, like my friend Joachim, comes from the presence of yokai around them. Some of them are even possessed by yokai. Now, Joachim hadn't gone that far yet. He only had the yokais in his apartment that needed to be get rid of, and I was able to help him out with that. Now, there we go. Well, arigato, my swordlings, for linking the video. Yes, you should check that out, the one with Joachim where I help him out. He's doing better now, by the way, for anyone who's still... I get that question quite a bit. And yes, that's the wording. Yes, that's the classic one as well. You should definitely check these out if you're having problems with your mental state, like with depression and such, because it's mostly from yokai, and people in the West are easily susceptible to them because they don't perform rituals or do meditation like Japanese people do. So they are very affected, and they don't know why. Do you watch any Japanese drama? Not anime. I love Good Morning Call. Really kawaii. No, I haven't watched much drama in... I have watched a little bit of a lot of different shows, and some of them are also live action adaptations of anime that I watch. Most of them have been that, and they're still great. I have watched quite a bit of tokusatsu though when it comes to live action, although those are not drama. Some of them have drama elements in them that makes for a really interesting watch. Oh. But when it comes to anime, since it was mentioned, have you swordlings watched any anime this season? Since I have been busy looking for jobs, I haven't had that much time to check out this season. I have watched a little bit of Masuru though, which have been really fun. I've read the manga a bit as well, so it's a very funny one. Is Shadow still brainwashed by Nintendo? No. As you know, in the Breath of the Wild review, Nintendo lets go of the hold he has on Shadow and then puts him in another dimension. So Shadow is not brainwashed, but he is stuck somewhere in some dimension. And as you know, or probably know, I can confirm that right now. Shadow does not have any dimension traveling abilities like Nintendo has. It's a very rare type of technique. Very nice stream, but I have to go to sleep. Oyasumi nasai. Oyasumi nasai to you too, Goku Daku-san. Gundam? Nice. Oh, the Oji-san Isekai. Yeah, that one is really fun. The main character likes Sega, so you know it's a good anime. That's right. So that's a really funny one, but also really sad. That moment was really sad when he realized that Sega doesn't make consoles anymore. I only watched JoJo and Vinland Saga at the moment. Well, those are really good ones, so I'm actually working my way through Mashle as well. Oh, that's great. I just noticed Sef-sama's choice of beverage for tonight is a glass of ice water instead of damene. Very mature choice. Well, I can't have damene every day. But it is one of my favorite drinks. Now, if you're wondering, this is the same one from yesterday. I just filled it with water because it's a good amount of to have for a stream. This one bottle. So. Hi Legend, do you like Toy Story? No, that's that Western cartoon movie for children, right? No. I wouldn't watch anything like that, and I wouldn't have liked it when I was younger either. Are you gonna do a rescue mission and save Shadow, Sef-sama? Well, I can't confirm anything like that, because the future of the Sephiroth Sword 57 show is Sephiroth Sword 57 Gaiden, so I can't spoil what I have planned for the future. But I do have things planned, for those of you wondering. Like I've said before, I have not given up on Sephiroth Sword 57 Gaiden. Some people seem to think that I gave up or stopped making those videos, but I have not. I am on a hiatus from those. From Gaiden, because I was not able to, at the time and for quite a long time, I was not able to make it the way I wanted it to be. So I wanted to take my time with it. I wonder what Nintendo did to bribe Sonic to joining them. Well, it's more like they manipulated. Since they manipulated the market to make Sega disappear, I'm sure they made them sign some contract to force them to release games for the Nintendo consoles. Why would a company make games for the people that put them out of the console business? Do they do it because they respect them? No, they're obviously being manipulated to do it. There's no other way. Konbanwa Sef-sama, I ordered a high quality bottle of sake online, and I was wondering, do you have any brand of Japanese alcohol you enjoy most? I do enjoy myself some 12-year-old Yamazaki, which is one of my favorite drinks. There's so many different brands of sake, and so many different distilleries in Japan in different prefectures. It's a little bit hard to keep track of all of them, but I have had some good sake in my day, and well, when it comes to beer, Sapporo, of course, is one that I regularly drink. That's a good one. But I don't drink a lot of alcohol, so I don't have a lot of experience with them. Speaking of Sonic, did you ever watch the Sonic movies, F-Sama? No, I did not. And I'm not going to either. I'm not going to support Western creators that take advantage of Sega's property. Now, what they should have done, and I've talked about this in the past, they should have recorded it in Japan with Japanese actors to make it more, well, that way it would be more authentic. And they should have had Yuji Naka write the script for it together. They should have been part of the writing process, and they should have had, for, like, I've heard that one of the side characters is a human character who's a police officer, and if it was in Japan, it should have been Beat Takeshi to have played that role. Takeshi Kitano, as you might know. And if not, or maybe if there was another role available, it would have been great to have Ken Watanabe be part of the crew as well. And I do think that Beat Takeshi would make for a good Eggman as well, if they wanted to go with a live action actor for that role in Japan. Imagine how great that would be. And then Ken Watanabe could be the police officer. That I think that would have been a good choice. Would you consider vlogging whenever you go to Japan? I think I've gotten this question probably like 30 times, that if I would vlog when I go to Japan next time. Of course I will. That is without a question. I want to share my experience with you swordlings when I go to Japan next time. There's no way I would not. And yes, I have seen the Sonic OVA from the 90s. That is a classic. Exactly, Womi-san. That is the true Sonic movie right there. What is the first step the average Westerner could take towards enlightenment? Well, I'm sure a lot of Westerners are, because Westerners are, they're conditioned to, and you see this a lot with Americans, that they should get angry and make fun of cultures that are better than theirs. And be really offended and be jealous. That's how they're conditioned to be. So when they see Japan, every time you see any Westerner on Twitter or in real life and they're making fun of Japanese culture, it's because they're jealous. They don't have a rich culture like Japan has, and they've been conditioned to think this way. So they're not gonna be easy to make them, well, learn about Japanese culture. Of course, some Westerners watch anime and they're really, some of them are so harsh towards anime, especially well-made one, and they start picking at small things in it that aren't really an issue. You see this a lot with Westerners. They complain about the smallest thing, and they make it into a bigger deal than it is. And most of the time, there aren't really bad things either. They're essentially just being disrespectful and racist towards Japanese culture, and they think it's okay. Speaking of, I'm going to save that for tomorrow's stream. I have something planned for tomorrow. I'm going to talk about a couple of news and my week on Twitter. You might have noticed if when you were on Twitter that there was this person on Twitter that posted something really offensive to Japanese people. It was straight up racist. And then in their bio, they had the nerve to say that they were against racism, and then they practice racism in their actual posts. That's typical Westerners right there. I'm going to talk about that one tomorrow, though. Western hypocrisy. Yes. They're the ones. I see this a lot on Twitter. You have a lot of people hating Japanese culture and then say that they are against racism. What kind of absolute morons are they? Are they dumb? Do they not realize that what they're saying? They're going against their own ideology? Probably confused another Asian country for Japan. That's exactly what they did, which is really racist. Hey Seth, I do prefer Seth-san or Seth-sama or Sephiroth Sword 57 in the future, Fon-san. But anyway, have you seen that guy that was blasting loud Skrillex music on the train and got shamed for it publicly? I do recognize that name. I don't know what kind of music that is, but it's probably some of that really loud, obnoxious music. Oh, he got arrested in Nepal today for sexual harassment of... Oh, wow. Well, I'm not surprised. If someone acts like that in public, I'm not surprised that they got caught with doing something like that. What is your opinion on the growth in popularity in anime in the West? Is this a sign that the West will be saved? It is and it isn't. Because Westerners refuse to accept Japanese culture even when they watch anime. There are some really bad people in the West that want to remove things from anime and insert their own ideologies into anime. Have you seen that? It happens with Crunchyroll. You should not trust Crunchyroll because they change the subtitles to whatever they want and remove things. You should not support them. And also, if you think you're supporting Japanese studios by subscribing to Crunchyroll, you are completely wrong. Crunchyroll takes the majority of that cut, and the studios get almost nothing out of it. If you want to support the studios, if that is a thing, and what you want to do, then you should buy merch from them on their official websites. That's how you support them properly. Twitter Westerners are the worst kind of Westerners. Most Westerners are just ignorant because they don't know any better, but Twitter Westerners are just evil. That's how I've seen a lot of that. I would say that some people are just evil. I've had that experience. It seems like they're just a lost cause. Even when shown facts They refuse. They just refuse to listen. They're too far gone, some of them. That's why I refrain from Twitter. That baka Western site. So much hypocrisy and hurt. I just remove everything that resembles that kind of... Yeah, I mostly just get posts from my favorite HoloLive members, or just fun Japanese game developers, or art that I get from Japanese artists. I have a pretty great flow on my Twitter, but sometimes one I get news or shown a clip of some awful things from Westerners. Western guy blasting music in Japan. Oh, in Japan even. Okay. Well, they should be locked up. For they disturb the public. And being a nuisance. Of course, I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised that they are a terrible human being. What do you think about the Korean and Japanese rivalry? They have a strained relationship due to historical reasons. Well, here's the deal, is that Korea really looks up to Japan and copies everything they do. You could almost see them as a little brother to Japan, in that they look at Japan and they mimic them. It's very kawaii in a way, but what they make is more of a shallow, a shallow copy of the true and real thing that Japan makes. So, if you find something that you like about Korean, let's say media or art or something like that, then you can trace it back to Japan to get a better experience in general. So that's how you can do it. Just take a look at the what was it called, Squid Game. Japan had already done that 20 years prior with Battle Royale. Remember? Battle Royale. They've already done it. So that's not something new. A lot of Westerners pretend that the Squid Game is something completely new, when Japan has been doing it for many, many, many years. There's different mangas that use that type of concept as well, since they're not new to it. Korea was not the one who invented it. That is another thing, is that since it was on Netflix, a lot of Westerners were exposed to it, and they just assume it was a new thing. What do you think the Japanese are Why do you think the Japanese are fascinated by our baka ancient gods, the Norse and the Finnish in particular? I don't know. I do understand that they're into Norse mythology. A lot of games, JRPGs, take inspiration from there, and they're quite interesting. I do like Norse mythology. Old mythologies, I think, is very interesting. It's one of the few things that I appreciate from the West, because it's from very old history, and it's because they make the characters and the entities of those cultures and religions to be very interesting, and they're very powerful and have good morals a lot of the time. So it's like when you watch an anime and you see a very cool main character. It's the same thing. So it's no wonder that the Japanese were they identified with it. It makes sense. Squarex is a name from a decade ago. He mainly made obnoxious dubstep. Yes, I know about that genre. I don't listen to that. I do know about it. Senpai, you should stream a Sonic Adventure 2 playthrough. It would be super sugoi. Now, I did stream Sonic Adventure 2, and I remember that it wasn't that, not a lot of swordlings left on that stream, I remember. But maybe it's different now. Maybe a lot of swordlings want to see me play Sonic Adventure 2. That would be fun. I didn't finish the game, by the way. How do I feel about Korean manga? You mean manhwa? Now, like I said, it's the same thing. They're a bit of a crude imitation of the real thing from Japan. But that doesn't make them bad. It just makes them not as good. So, of course, I think they're fine. And it's very obvious where their inspirations come from. So, I think they're respecting Japanese culture by doing that. Oh shoot, I need to make some more tea, Sef-sama. Which should I go for? Chai or vanilla green? Vanilla green, go for that. That sounds great. Manga is Japanese, so there's no such thing as Korean manga. That's right. It's manhwa. It's really hard to get a hold of Japanese tea around here. Yes, I understand. Little brother Korea, big brother Japan. Exactly. There are very cute early anime-style productions from Korea. They weren't allowed to import manga and anime for a long time, so studios produced their own with very low experience and craftsmanship. Naruhodo. That's interesting. I have not watched any of it. I don't really read or watch anything from Korea. Mostly because I could just have a better experience with Japanese stuff, so I don't really look into that. What are your thoughts on China? Well, China has a lot of problems. They're very racist against Japanese people. And it is something they have to own up to. But they refuse to. Racism in China is still going very strong. Now there are of course respecting Chinese people as well. And they have a really old history, which I find to be a bit interesting. Their martial art history is interesting, although Chinese martial arts are not viable and can't actually be used in real fights, like Japanese martial arts, which are very useful. Japan are really good at improving on Scandinavian culture. Yes, I agree. They take a lot of culture. Now, for those of you who don't know, there actually is a village in Japan called Sweden Hills. Sweden Hills is, as you can tell by the name, Sweden Hills, and it's a village that's built like a Swedish village. The houses, the architecture, the roads, everything. If you look at picture from it, it looks exactly like a Japan or a Swedish village, but in Japan. It shows that they respect it quite a bit, and of course, they do celebrate Midsummer there as well. There's videos of that. It's very interesting. I would like to visit when I go to Japan just to see what it's like. Sef-sama, I love you. And I love you too, Krokus-san. Arigato for supporting me. And watching the stream. Sef-sama, have you thought about doing something like a watch party, where we would look at an anime together? I think this is allowed with movies that are in public domain or otherwise free to use. Are there any anime that are public domain? I need to look into that, because that would be really fun. In the West, or is the West or China worse? I'm wondering this because the West are allied with Japan, while China holds the most anti-Japanese sentiment in the world. Well, actually, China is very close to the West in terms of mentality, which is interesting, since they are, well, Japan doesn't really care what China thinks, because Japan mostly just cares what Japan thinks. They care about what their people are doing, first and foremost, which makes sense. If you are a country and you care about what the rest of the world thinks of you, then you're just insecure as a country. What matters is what the people in your country thinks, and you should appeal to those people first and foremost. Which is why Japan imports very little things from other countries. They're mostly a domestic industry there when it comes to food, technology, software, everything. I just attached my Sega Mega Drive into my dad's old Sanyo stereo system. Oh, that sounds great. I can now hear the Sugoi Shining Force 2 soundtrack in full stereo. That is great. Chinese anime is horrible. No, they don't create anime. They create just animation. I see them try to replicate anime or Japanese styles, but in China's case, they try to take credit for it. China tries to. It really depends on the company. You have to look into the company who's make it. Some people respect Japanese culture, and then there are companies that make these animations in China that just try to take advantage of it and trick people into thinking that it's actually anime. What do you think of ancient Roman gods? They are very powerful, but their morals are often aren't the best. They wouldn't make really good anime protagonists, if you ask me. Well, they could be inspirations for villains. A lot of them could be. Which, once again, Japanese people can identify with that. And they can understand that as well. But I think old ancient Roman culture, Greek culture, is the mythology behind it is also very interesting. It's like I said, the old Western history is interesting. I think they don't hold up to Japan, of course, but they have some interesting things about them that has influenced JRPGs and such in small ways. Sweden Hills is up in Hokkaido, so it is a perfect fit to the region. It is, yes. Hokkaido shares a similar type of, they have similar weather and temperatures there as it is in Sweden, so it makes sense. I love Japan, Japanese culture and people, but I will never forgive the Simo Heya manga. Well, that is, there are many times when I've read a manga, or when there's moments in it that really makes you. I think I need to point this out for anyone who takes it in a negative way. When you read a manga and there are certain events that happen, I could bring up one that made me really sad from Naruto. but when there are moments that happen and you feel really sad and you think you feel betrayed, don't. The reason why you feel sad to begin with is because it's so well written and masterfully executed that you care. That means when these moments happen, that they're not betraying you. They are giving you a great storytelling. And you care so much about it that's a good thing. It shows how much you care. Don't take it in a negative way. A lot of Westerners do that. Chef-sama anime watch party would be top tier. Yes, I could look into those and see if there's anything that could be watched there. Chef-sama, why do you think the Japanese people are so respectful in their culture compared to the rest of the world's culture, including the West? Well, it's mostly moral that goes back, way back. But today it's very much, it's ingrained in every person. Now, here in Sweden, we have a little bit of that Japanese mentality, in that we respect other people. We should not assume that we are better than other people. Bragging is a bad virtue. It is something that if you brag, that makes you into a rotten person in general. You should be more humble. It is something that I can identify a lot with, being Scandinavian in Japanese culture. Respecting others in public. Don't make a nuisance out in the public and disturb people. Is also something that we do here. Respect others' boundaries. And it is something that I think the rest of the West should also adapt. Which is why it's so easy for Scandinavians to open up to Japanese culture, because we have some part of that in our culture already. Thank you for answering my questions, Chef-sama. I'm done asking spicy questions for now. I just love to hear your perspective. Oh, I see. Well, arigato. And arigato for the questions. The Japanese can improve on everything. In Girls on Panzer, they actually made the BT-42 Super Sugoi, while the Finnish army considered their BT-42s Super Baka. That's right. It is because of Japan's respectful, it's just a respectful attitude towards other cultures as well, that they do that. Not just their own. It's also thanks to Shinto religion. Yes, that is something we should have adapted here in Scandinavia. We should have adapted Shinto religion instead of Christianity. Too bad those Christians had to come here and intrude on in our culture. I haven't thought about making them villains. Great way of thinking, Chef-sama. Have you ever thought of making an anime or manga yourself? Well, when it comes to anime, I've already started. Vomi-san right there is in the right. Yes, the Zephyr Sword 57 show is a live-action anime. I take huge inspiration from anime from Japan. I really want some Karagen right now. Oh, yes, that is great. I really do like Karage. A lot of those bar snacks are really great in Japan. If you ever went to an izakaya in Japan, they usually have a lot of snacks like that. And also the drinks are very cheap as well. But the snacks they have are really good. Let's see here. I wanna. Still looking good. Okay. Yes, so there was something I was thinking about when oh yes. When it comes to the channel and live action anime, like I said right here on it's I don't know, so many Soulings came in here and was confused. I am actually a Vtuber. I am a live action Vtuber, and I think I need to mention that every stream. Because a lot of people seems to be confused by it. Since no one else has tackled the trying to do the live action VTuber thing yet, I decided that I was going to be the first one. Perhaps you should put that in the title as well. That is a very good point. I should do that for this stream. Oh, I can't do it right now. Well, I'll do it after the stream. What is a VTuber? No, it's V and tuber. It's just like how Basusu-san spelled it in chat. They're virtual YouTubers. Like Hololive, for example. The Hololive talents are all VTubers. They're really great, and I take a lot of inspiration from them in making fighting streamers 2 single player. So you should appreciate them for inspiring me to do this. So I was thinking, yes, with these streams. This week I've been trying out different things and seeing what works. And for Sunday, I do think that another drawing stream should be on Sunday. And for the every weekend, I want to try and do a drawing stream, so that everyone would be able to take part in it, since it is the weekend and more people are available. And I can start earlier too, because I know some people have to go to sleep early. I do odd art streams does better during the day when people are awake. Now for tomorrow's stream, I guess I can. We are getting to the end of the stream soon, but I'm going to go over a couple of things. So stay where you are. I'm going to talk about what's going to happen for tomorrow's stream. For tomorrow's stream, I'm going to go over some things that have happened in the this week so far. there are a couple of stories I want to bring up, some new things, and a bunch of other stuff that I think is important to talk about. I've found some really nasty things that needs to be brought up. I think it's very important to talk about. Now, for Saturday, I want to look into trying to do a reaction. A reaction stream would be great. Looking at some new trailers and stuff would be fun. And we'll see. If not, then I'll do something else for Saturday. But I will let you know if I am going to be watching trailers and stuff for games, and watch some clips. And you Swordlings can, you can provide me with some videos that you want me to watch, some clips for streaming. And these clips will be curated, of course. But I will let you know on Twitter and the YouTube community tab. So keep an eye out for those. And also, if you are a member, I will be making membership posts as well, which are exclusive to members. So, just wanted to point that out. Sounds exciting. Yes, that sounds good. I will probably post a tweet about it tomorrow and a post on the YouTube community tab if I decide to do that on Saturday. But for tomorrow, I want to do a little bit of a news thing, and I think you Swordlings are gonna appreciate what I have to show and talk about, and become aware of what's going on. So keep an eye out. Now, since there's 10 minutes left, let me read out some donations and supacha for this stream. So let's see here. And also memberships and subscriptions on Twitch. But there has not been anything on Twitch. Right there. And I got a $25 from Robotech-san, but no message from that one. But I appreciate it. Of course, you can put a message in there, and I will always read messages at the end of the stream, unless Gomenasai in advance, but I won't be able to attend on Saturday. I'll see, yes. That is fine. But hopefully some of you Swordlings can show up on Sunday. Those of you who can't make it. This was such a fun stream. I love this community. I agree, Giddy-san. There's some really great Swordlings here during these streams. Final Fantasy 16 is coming out soon, so reacting to our upcoming trailers would be subarashi. Oh, I wonder if I've missed something. But yes, to point out for anyone who is wondering, I do streams every day. I do at least one of these streams every day, and they'll be between 2 hours or more, usually. Now, these hangout streams are usually around 2 hours, because, well, we usually be able to get everything out that we want to talk about in 2 hours. So that's good. I can't join on Sunday, but Saturday, expect me. Alright, that's great, Giddy-san. Yes, so for tomorrow, there's going to be some news and some things that I would like to bring up. I will be showing some clips and some screenshots of certain events that has happened during the week and talk about them and have you let your shortlings know about it. Some things that you might not expect, actually. And on Saturday, I will see what I will do. Maybe do the reaction, where I will be reacting to trailers. Maybe. I'm still not sure what to do with that. And then on Sunday, I will be doing a drawing stream. Now, as you noticed with the last art stream I did, I couldn't really go on for too long because it got so late. And I had to start at such a late time because it was in the middle of the week. And most people are working before, so I have to start those streams late. But if it is on a Sunday, then art streams can start early and go on for longer. So you can expect art streams to go on for longer so that I can actually get all the art done for the streams. I had 7 requests on yesterday's stream to draw. I had 7 pieces of art that I made. And I couldn't make all of them on stream. I could only... 3 of them I had to do off stream because of the schedule. So with that, I'm going to start early on Sunday. You can expect it at 2 p.m. Eastern Time, or if you're European, it would be 8 p.m. And of course, for those of you in Japan, it would be, well, I guess with 8, it would be, I guess it would be 3 a.m. So if you're staying up late or if you wake up early, you can catch my stream. But yes, all the art was Sugoi. Link to the Twitter post showing off what he did. Yes, arigato, Ai-san. Yes, those are the drawings that I did. And it was really fun. And I think it's a good way to interact with you swordlings. And a lot of you have really good tastes as well. So that was great. Now, with this, I am going to be wrapping up the stream. But this was a fun time. It was fun catching up with you swordlings and talking about different topics. I had some great questions today from you swordlings. And arigato for all the support. And I hope you swordlings had a great time. As for me, I had a great time. But anyway, my swordlings, I hope that you had a good time on the stream. And I hope that you have a good night, evening, morning, or day. And I will see you swordlings on tomorrow's stream. Moshi mosh!